Today, I'm in conversation with Sarah Sham, the founder of Essajees Atelier. Sarah and I speak about her journey with interiors, how she began, where she attended college, and what the interior journey is like. We also talk about motherhood as she's recently become a mother of a beautiful baby, Sophia, and I hope you enjoy this episode and take a lot from it like I did. Enjoy! Hi, guys, and welcome to my next episode of The Shan Show. I keep saying this, these are very special episodes. Last week was my mom. This week, I'm talking to one of my best friends. I am so excited to do this because I feel I learn so much from her daily. We are, the true definition of learning from each other and growing together. So very excited to be interviewing Sarah. Hi, Sarah, who is the founder of Essajees Atelier and is a very, very well-renowned interior designer. So Sarah, thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much, Shan, for having me. And I'm so excited to do this chat with you today.
And I know how much you've encouraged me to take this step, launch the Shan Show, and move forward in so many things. So for anyone watching this, know that I'm not only interviewing my best friend, but somebody who I learn from, somebody who inspires me, and somebody every new startup and interior designer looks up to. So Sarah, it's great that you're here, and I know you're going to share some real pearls of wisdom. I want to start by asking you how you began, because I know interior designing was never your really first choice, but something you loved doing. You worked with your dad. So tell me about that. What did you want to do?
So I think, I think now it all looks very glamorous and the entire process looks like, oh yeah, this chick is sorted. She's got it all going on. I think all of the years where I was clueless, dumb and doing pointless things have gotten to completely erase. So the reality is that I had no idea I even liked interiors or interior design. I wanted nothing to do with the field. I did my undergraduate degree in art history. I came back, I worked in my dad's company, which deals with art, antiques and furniture. And I didn't enjoy that entire experience. But through that, I learned that interiors was something that I would like. And then I went back to school at 25. I finished at 27. And then after that, while I was trying to look for a job, which it fell through, and then this whole thing just kind of happened by chance in a way. And now here I am. I think it's the only job I've actually really enjoyed. Apart from the time I worked at an animal shelter, that was also a fantastic job. But I've done so many random things, my dream. I've done so many random things in my life, and I really didn't think that I would be able to stick to any one thing ever. So I'm really happy to be here. I'm really, really happy for myself that I managed to stick to something. I actually seem to be half decent at it. And I guess that's how interiors came into my life.
Yeah, and for anyone listening, Sarah is the kind of person, once she puts her mind to something, there's nothing that comes in between. So whether you had studied it, whether not, whether you started studying it late, I see the fact that you were like, this is the path I'm going to take, and this is it. So you did start working with your dad, and you and I have very similar, we started like that. Even I started working with my mom. What was that experience like? How did it help you grow? How did you help the company grow?
I think working with your family is always a very enlightening experience. It helps teach you not about work, but also about yourself, which I think is really, really valuable. So I had a lot of jobs that I did. And I think every job taught me what I don't like. I never found what I liked. But I think I realized over time, it's really important to also identify what are the certain things that you don't like. And just by a process of elimination, you can also arrive at that thing that you do like. So working with my family company was really like that. I saw a lot of the things that worked and a lot of the things that didn't work. And I think it really helped me learn so much about myself, all of the things that I would never want to do, all of the things that I was okay with doing. And I think that love for design really got inculcated and encouraged there. So that was really, really, really fun. And I think it was really fun spending time with my dad. I wish we spent less time fighting and more time actually working. That would have been lovely. But yeah, I think like your parents are your biggest supporters and your toughest critics, as you are for them. So that entire thing, I think also it's nice to realize that sometimes you're better off as father and child or mother and child, And sometimes you don't get along with people in a work environment. We've realized this with our friends as well, right, Shan? Or just people in general. There are certain people that you can like and be friends with, or be cousins with, or be brother and sister with. And the relationship is perfect. And then when that converts into a work setting, everyone has a very different work personality. So maybe as a person, I'm relaxed, happy, easygoing. But in my work zone, I'm quite type A and very regimented, and I have no flexibility.
Yeah.
So, in my work life and my personal life, I'm two very, very different people. So it was very hard for my dad and me to get along in that personal work switch.
Yeah,
so,
and
yeah.
I think you're living at home, right? Still,
Yes.
That's one thing I face is coming home with, mom and me work together. We go to a meeting together. We still come back to the same home. I don't want to be talking work at 10 p.m. when I'm watching my favorite TV show, for example. So I think that's another a big one, right? Because then it becomes a 24/7 talk about work situation.
But working with my dad taught me some of the most valuable lessons about work-life balance, because I had none for 5 years that I worked with him. I had no work-life balance. I felt like I was talking about work and thinking about work all the time.
Yeah.
So as soon as I started up on my own, I became so psychotic about switching off at a certain time from work calls. I feel bad because in this work from home setup, everything has become one big mush of like when is work and when is home. But when I was going into the office, it's one thing that I used to really pride myself on, and used to being the operative word. I need to get back to that at some point. That there was a clear delineation between work and home, and that was such a valuable lesson that I learned from working with my dad.
Yeah. I think I've started doing that very recently. So very late, but very recently. And I think that is the way to go when you're especially working with someone you live with. So even if you're a husband, a lot of husband wives work together. I don't know how, but they do. So yeah, that's a whole other thing. I want to ask you, so when you did get into interior design, and I remember you launching Essajees Atelier, the logo, starting everything afresh. Feel like I've been through that journey with this baby. How did that go? Was it very intimidating to start your own? And if you can tell us how you bagged the first project, what did you do to go out there?
So I didn't do it as a conscious decision, because when I thought about it, I found it too overwhelming. And I thought that I was not ready, because I had never worked at an interior design firm. I had only worked with my dad, which was the execution and the furniture and the artifact side of it. I had never worked on dealing with a client in this way before. So what happened is that I had got a job at a top design firm, and then that guy basically ghosted me and he stopped replying to my messages. So while I was applying to other firms, my sister told me that she has a friend that was looking to style her apartment. So I said, okay, whatever, I'm not finding a job that I like anyway. No one seems to want to hire me at this point. So let me take this job till next 2-3 months, I'll finish it and then I'll find a job. That one job led to another job, and then I was not finding the employment. And then before I knew it, so this all happened in March, and by September, then I said, okay, I have my own firm. So it took me 6 months to find my own confidence to even say I have my own firm. It's very scary and intimidating for a young person because you don't know anything, and it's really scary. You're dealing with a client all on your own. If something goes wrong, you're in the firing line, and as interior designers, we're shouted at a lot. That's one of the kind of comes with the territory kind of things. You just get shouted at day and night. So I was really, 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 really scared to have started out, and I didn't make the decision till I just had too many projects to say I'm not my own interior designer.
I think that's what you just take that first step and then it happens. And like interior designing, even events, we face this a lot. People just scream at you for any small, big, anything, right? So if anyone's looking to start out, that's a great way.
But also, like so many people that want to start out, like they always message me saying, when should I start? And there's no right when, you just start. You just have to take that leap of faith. You're never going to be confident enough, and you're never going to feel like this is the perfect time. So there is no perfect time. All times are wrong and all times are right. So you just have to do it.
Correct. And if you don't try, you don't know. I love that as well. Okay. So I want to ask you about your design style. You have a very distinct style. I know, especially now, if I walk into a house, I know it's done by you. And if I see some of your projects, I see a clear indication that this is designed by Sarah. So what would you describe your design style like? And a question I have is, do you think it evolves from time to time? Does it change as the years go by? What's that like?
I'm surprised that you say that because I think that I don't have a design style. I feel like I have no style, that I'm kind of just like water. Like I go with whatever I feel like. And I think with interior design, each project is very collaborative with the client. So what is their taste? What is their vision? And I want to make that true by me being the editor of their vision and their thoughts. So I also think I have a really strong design team. So I lean on them a lot for the design. And I don't think I have a design style per se. I can't recognize it myself. Maybe I see it too much. And in terms of evolution, I think as soon as I finished a project and I move on to the next one, I always look back on my own old work and I'm like, oh shit, I could have done that so much better. I think you learn with every project. And so but that's the fun bit, right? The learning and the evolution is so clear. And I think I go mad if I feel like I'm stagnating. So that's what I love about interior design and about my job. Every project teaches you so much that the learning curve it's not just like this. It's like you're constantly growing it. And it's just like fine wine. Like the more it ages, the better I feel. Like with every year, I just feel better. Like I know more, I'm more confident, and I've just loved all of that.
Yeah, and you discover new products, brands, people to work with year by year. So I'm sure that helps as well. So let's talk about a very important part of, our lives today, and of course, design sustainability. It's a major conversation. Do you have clients that walk up to you saying, listen, I want to do this, but I want to make it much more sustainable? How do you incorporate that into your designs?
So I think there's a huge issue in our Indian system, which is that none of the products that we use go through any certification standards or testing, and there's no authority. So if you look at Europe or you look at America, products can't even get onto the market until they have passed certain environmental clearances. So what we have is a market that's filled with very cheap and very harmful products for the environment. So it's very systemic, the problem. And even for us, if we're faced with a tight budget, we're not going to say, hey, let's blow up 30% of the budget on a sustainable product and then not put furniture in the house, right? So it becomes very difficult because the problem is it's really, really omnipresent. But especially living in a place like India, I think the way I look at sustainability is reusing as much from the existing space as possible and not breaking something that's already made, or if there is a good door or a good chair or a good piece of whatever it is, to try and incorporate that back. Also, a lot of things have emotional value. It's not just the sustainability of it. So yeah, that's how we really look at the topic.
Yeah, and also I think adding so much green to your space, more than like you love plants. So more than, of course, like you said, it's expensive to go the complete sustainable way, but you can actually help the environment and get more plants in your space, which you love. I want to ask you the favorite question, which everyone asks you recently, and you are, I see Steffie.
Hi, Steffo.
Hi, Steffie.
She's waking up from her mid-morning nap.
So what I asked you is about social media, right? This is a question you're getting so much now. Everyone says you're the new Insta celeb, and in the design space, you are doing a phenomenal job connecting designers, bringing the community together. Also, I think teaching. I think that's a very big one. You're giving back to your community, because what better than hearing from experts, right? So tell us about that. Do you think smaller designers should start with their social media first? How did you jump on the bandwagon? What's it taught you?
For me, my social media has more just been a happy space for me to meet and connect with people. And I think it's been amazing that so many people have resonated with my voice, or have found what I'm saying to have even an iota of sense in it. That always makes me feel happy. And I love chatting with random people. I love connecting. That's just a part of my personality. And you know that, Shan. Like I would go on to some random flight and make some random friend. And I just love this randomness of it all. So I think what a lot of people don't realize is social media has a lot to do with your personality as well. Like, for example, if you are a very private person, you don't want to share what time you woke up in the morning, what you ate, what you're wearing. Maybe social media is not the right match for you, or you have to find your own version of it. And I think that there's a lot of issues with young design firms that are focusing solely on their social media. There is so much importance on social media now that a lot of people are forgetting that we are designers doing design work. So if your design work is shit, but your social media is strong, it doesn't make sense. So I'm able to, or have the luxury to spend so much time on my social media because I have built out a full team. I've built out my business. A lot of things are being taken care of. But if you are a new young designer where you're a team of me, myself, and I, or you plus one person, and you're spending that much time on your social media, I feel like there's something wrong with that. You should be focusing on building your business, building your client, networking, getting the money in the bank, and then the social media stuff will follow. Yes, it's a powerful tool. Yes, it's got me a ton of business. Yes, it's amazing and do it, but not as your primary and sole focus. And I think that's what's kind of wrong with today, that everything is about what you see on social media. But the real mal and masala is what you're doing in your real life. No, social media is all fake. And people don't realize that. So that part really bothers me, actually.
We've started taking it too seriously. I think that, it's all like everyone who only talks to me talks about how that should be your first step. So I love that you actually said, even though you have grown your social media, I said it the right way for any new designer.
But it was not my first step. It was one of my last steps. I've only started my social media account 2 years ago, and I've been in business for 7 years. So it's not, and it's something that once I had a large number of projects and clients and things were already quite set, then I started my social media account. Now, I understand many people may not want to wait 5 years to start their social media account. That's fair. But at least focus 90% should be on your work, 10% on social media. And I think that ratio gets skewed very badly by a lot of people, which I think is really sad.
Yeah, absolutely bang on. I couldn't agree with you more. I want to ask you another aspect of this. A lot of people ask me this, the number of small businesses I meet and deal with, but I want to know from the design aspect, interior designers, architects, people who are supplying the products to these people. How do you market yourself? Can you just in a short way, just tell us what's the best way? Because PR is expensive. To hire a PR agency is not cheap. What's the best way in an industry like yours?
Word of mouth. That's it. There's nothing else. If someone is spending even 10 lakhs or 15 lakhs, you're not buying a 2,000 rupees t-shirt that you'll scroll on Instagram and purchase it, right? People are spending large chunks of their savings and money for a personal space like a house or an office where you're going to see it every day. So word of mouth is the only way you can get business.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Your business is all about word of mouth. Okay, so let's talk about clients a little. Many of your clients, I'm sure, have differing views. When they come to you, they are all with you. Sarah, I love your work. Let's do this. All that. You're so excited. Go on about it. But then I'm sure there are clashes. I'm sure the ideas, once you've started the work and say, hey, I didn't ask for this. What about this? How do you deal with something like that?
I'm actually really good at conflict resolution. So that's been like a strong suit of mine from when I was a kid. So I remember even in my house, my mother and my sister would be arguing with each other. I would sit both of them down. I would say, Mom, what is your point? I'd ask my sister, what is your point? And then I'd play like this judge role. I think that's been really helpful for me in my job because it's not just them with me, it's also them internally, because there's sometimes 3 or 4 family members. The husband says, I hate this. The wife says, I only want this. And then the kid is like, I want this third totally different thing. So we have to juggle personalities. So you are a large part psychologist and then a small part interior designer. So if you have to really work on your people skills. And for me, it's a work in progress. And it's always evolving. I'm always learning new ways to deal with my clients. Sometimes I feel like I've been too relaxed. Sometimes I feel like maybe I'm too strict. It's always walking that tightrope between how you kind of figure it out. But I think the key is that you have to be confident in yourself and your design. And if you allow a client to steamroll you all the way through a project, it is going to be a disaster, because I have been there and I have done that, and it has ended up being a disaster. I feel bad at the end of the project. I feel like someone's taken me for a royal ride. I hate the end product. I feel like I never wanted this design. And then I'm thinking to myself, but why did you agree when the client said, no, I only want this? So it is a bit difficult to argue with someone when they are paying you and it's their own space. But you have to find that right balance, and that only comes with experience and time. I'm still learning.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm learning every year. There's something new that I'm like, okay, now I know how to deal with this situation. But it's also your personality. I think that because you said you know how to deal with this from the past. And this applies for any business, not just design and interior. So please take this advice for any business that you're in.
So I actually had a meeting with one of my clients, and there were like 6 of them that were there on site. And after we finished the meeting, because everyone was saying something different, my client actually looked at me and said, "How many siblings do you have?" So I said, "One." "Why?" She said, "Are you the oldest or the youngest?" I said, "The youngest." So she said that, "Have you done a lot of some conflict resolution class or something?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm just used to doing this because it's part of your personality, and it just really helps you to be a peaceful person." So what happens is that it's important if you have a bad temper or a short temper, and I've seen this with some of other interior designers that I love dearly. But if a client rubs them the wrong way, instead of being able to process it calmly, if you just fly off the handle and you're just like, "Shut up, I don't deal with this," everything goes nuclear. So you have to learn to work on yourself every day and your own personality.
Correct. And I think that comes with time. You might flip out once or twice, and then as you go, you keep learning. Okay, so let's talk about COVID-19 and this tough time that we've all gone through. We've sat at home. I mean, a lot of people have actually bought art, made changes at home. What's that been like? You think people's design style or what they want in their home will change post this period?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's going to be a huge change in design, and we're already seeing it. So a couple of changes. One is that there has to be a work from home space in everyone's house. I think we've all experienced the negative planning, the negative impact of bad planning with no work from home spaces. We've all bought quickly desks, rearranged our houses. So now when we're planning homes, every room ends up having a desk, and people that were earlier buying 3 bedrooms are now buying 4 bedrooms. Those that are buying 4 are buying 5. So budgets have actually increased because people have spent so much time at home that they're like, "Listen, I won't spend on the holiday and I won't spend on the whatever XYZ investments. I will just spend on my house. All my extra money I will put into the house. I will buy the bigger house. I want the extra room and the space." And I think a lot of us have grown to love and enjoy working from home as well, right? So yeah, this entire pandemic has impacted me as well. I also would like to work from home more. I've also grown to love and enjoy it. And yeah, planning my space based on that.
Absolutely. And I'm loving working from home. And I used to always work from home. Then I shifted out. But I think that I've learned to appreciate my work from home space, like you said. Okay. So I want to ask you, you have a super young team, right? I know I've met them. I've, interacted with them. What's that like? So if a student wants to firstly enter this field, I'm going to combine two questions. If a student wants to enter this field, plus you have a super young team of people who came to you when they were younger. So what are the certain things that you look for in a candidate, because I'm sure it's not always, now it's no longer about just your resume. It's also the kind of person. So can you just help us with a few pointers?
Sure. So I think a lot of students make the mistake of DMing on Instagram a designer asking for a job. It's the most unprofessional thing ever. And if someone sends me a DM, even if they have the world's best portfolio, you're instantly rejected because I think that lacks a certain level of professionalism. The second is that, really write a beautiful cover letter that's personalized to the firm, telling them why they should hire you, addressed to Dear Sarah, so on and so forth. There's so many things that you can do to make your portfolio really stand out. And I think just a really nicely written, personalized cover letter with obviously a strong portfolio is something that really works well for me.
This DM thing really needs to stop. I think that.
My God, I've said it like I'm like a broken recorder. I've said it a million times and I still get like 10 to 15 DMs a day. "Hello, any vacancy? Hello, I'm looking for a job." I appreciate that you're looking for a job, but I can't see a resume on a DM. I can't see anything. And then there are people sending me a link on DM. "Please click on my portfolio," but they're not even clickable links. So they're expecting that I'm going to copy paste the message, go into my browser, delete the part that's the text, put in the portfolio, and then click on it and check it and hire them off Instagram.
Complete complete.
Who has so much time to do all this stuff? Like, what dreamland are you in that you think that this is the appropriate way? But the problem is with social media. I appear so accessible on social media and on it all the time. And I do reply to so many DMs that people are like, "But why not? I'll just message her. Maybe it'll come to her easier and maybe she's going to miss the email, So yeah.
They don't realize that we actually value that email so much more, because if I'm
Yeah.
getting messages and I'm just like exactly what you said, even if I see it, I'm happy to answer a query about work or any help you may need. But why is my email address up there? My contact details are
Yes.
for a reason, right? So reach out to me. Somebody will reach back out to you.
But it's invariably young students that make this mistake, and they're the ones that need the jobs the most. So it's really sad because they're the ones that miss out then.
Yeah, correct. Okay, so I want to ask you the strangest request you've got to design, like designing a home or an office. What's the strangest request?
I've not got a strange request, but I've had a strange proposal, which is that a client wanted to design their home, and it came through the recommendation of a friend, Firdaus. And then I sent the quotation across, and then the quotation was too high for them. And then they said, but why don't you accept X amount, which is like some very nominal amount? And they said that the rest they'll give me in spiritual wealth. They said, we are very spiritual people. We'll pay you in spiritual goodwill, and you just accept that. And I was just like, that one of the strangest things to have happened to me. I said, I appreciate it. Thank you for the offer, but I'm okay.
Yeah, that's literally like saying design my house for a barter. And
Yeah.
that's the term that really bugs me, you know? So no, if anyone, that is really strange. Really strange. I haven't heard that one before. That's a new one.
Yeah.
Very strange. Okay, so I want to ask you something. My favorite part, which is Sophie, your daughter, and you've just, she's now going to be a year this year. It's been amazing to see the way you've balanced being there for Sophie a lot, also continuing Essajees, traveling just after having a baby. It's been fabulous, and I've seen this firsthand. Any tips you want to give moms that want to continue? Because I've seen so many, even friends who come up to me and say, I can't work because I have a child. And I've seen you do the exact opposite. So tell us about that.
I think I love my job too much, and I love myself too much. I love myself the most in the whole world, and I don't love anything or anyone, including my child, more than I love myself. And my own happiness is the most important thing in the world for me, which I think it should be for everyone. I think we spend or reward people for making everyone else but themselves happy, but you're not happy. No one can be happy until you are happy. So I think because I love myself and keeping myself happy so much, I know for my own sanity, my work is what really keeps me happy. So irrespective of whether I have a child or another child or a dog or a cat or 40 plants in my house, whatever makes me happy is what I'm going to do at the end of the day. So if that means getting straight back into work, dealing with clients, doing whatever it is. And I think that we need to stop guilting ourselves for doing what makes us happy. So moms experience too much guilt because you have this small, adorable, precious thing that's put into your hands, and you are solely responsible for this thing. And, yes, of course, there are fathers, but we know at the end of the day, the mother has the lion's share of the responsibility. And so in that whole process, a lot of us forget to prioritize ourselves and be happy for us. And at the end of the day, it is all about me being happy. And I spend a lot of time being unhappy, and I don't want to do that. I just want to be happy and do exactly what I want to do. And that's what I've done. So I didn't do it with the intention to, work or to have a balance. I just did whatever I wanted to. And that ended up, everyone just had to fall in line and say, okay, if that's what she wants to do, that's what's going to happen.
That is great advice. I feel like it was meant for me to listen to this even today while asking you this question, because I've known this about you. But I think that anyone listening, this is such a positive piece of advice you can take, because I've seen you do it firsthand. So it's not like Sophie's ignored. It's not like your plants are ignored, or Steffie or your husband. But I think you just put yourself first and your own happiness first. And that's where you see success in every part of your life, be it motherhood, be it work, or anything else that you're dealing with. So thanks for that. Now I want to ask you, what a big part networking is for me. I feel like I'm a huge, you've seen me say, like, I want people to be all positive about networking. How's it been for you? Because I know when you're building your business today, you're saying you're 11 years in. How big a role has networking played for you?
Massive. I think, first of all, I also need to credit you, Shan, for the start of my entire career, genuinely, because networking now was the website on which I got all of my initial projects. And to date, when there are young designers that ask me where you can get things from, networking now is literally like the most golden resource ever. And I have used it myself, and I have had fantastic results in connecting with people through that. So I really wanted to start and do my career on my own without support from my parents, and especially from my dad, and all the stuff that came with his company. So the fact that there are resources out there like networking now, which heavily rely on person to person recommendations through a closed network, it's such a fantastic opportunity. And really, that has been the game changer, because I got one client through networking now who gave me 11 projects of work over 3 years. So that was just unbelievable. My entire first bit of my career was sorted out because of the networking that I did. I think a lot of people don't take it as seriously as they should. And they just feel like it's some useless faffing around, waste of time thing. It's been so powerful for me. And we still network a lot. So I still, even, whether it's with my clients or different networks of different designers, it's still so important to keep that entire web of communication going.
Absolutely, absolutely. And especially in an industry like yours, where word of mouth is the final decision maker, in taking on a project or taking on an interior designer. But my last question for you, Sarah, is what's next for you? I've asked so many people this question, but I know you're going to have an answer for me, knowing that I know you so well. What's next for Sarah Sham?
Okay, so as far as the design work goes, I am ready for global domination. Okay, I'm mentally and emotionally ready to just really, I want to be one of the best known names in the world of design, and not just in India and not just in Bombay. So I have my eyes set on that, and I really want to have a global presence. Apart from that, I do want to diversify my business into doing different things in the space of design. Flipping properties is something that I've openly said I've wanted to do for a really long time. I have a really magic touch with properties. So I really want to become a developer, take on properties, flip them, design them, flip them. That's something I'm really, really keen to get into. And I think I've really enjoyed building my entire social media network and the community that I've built. So that's something that I want to focus on building out even more and even further. And I see myself in 5 years having a massive, massive network of people, designers that have all gotten connected thanks to me, and a business that's diversified in many different fields. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to my global domination plans.
I love this. Only your best friend can be interviewed and already have the answer of what's next for Sarah. People give me the 1 year plan. Sarah has given me the 5 years and 10 years plan.
But I visualize all of this stuff every day. So it's a very easy thing for me to know what I want, because I think about it every day.
I love it. And Sarah, I can't thank you enough for coming on my show. We've been planning this interview for a while, but you should know you've inspired me in so many ways. And I'm sure anyone that watches this will be inspired. So thank you. And I wish you all the luck and the love in the world. I don't have to tell you that over a show.
Thank you, Shanu. You are my inspiration, and I'm blessed to have you in my life. Thank you so much for considering me for your show. It's been a pleasure.
Of course. See you soon.
Bye.